Hi, my name is Sasha Bonasin and I'm a psychic medium, and today I'm going to be talking about my second astral projection experience. Now, this is not really in theory my second astral projection experience, but I would rather rename it as my second most significant astral projection experience. Many of you are aware of my first astral projection experience, the video that I've sent out some while ago, and I was talking about my first experiences with astral projection, and I went into quite detail how I felt about the whole thing and what did I go through, about my whole experience in general. Now I wanted to share with you the second time when I had my astral projection experience, when I found the whole thing again completely fascinating, and when I completely realized that there is a world apart from this world, and when I started finally getting a glimpse of it, how things actually work. And what do I mean by that? How things actually work? Well, after my first astral projection experience, as I mentioned in my first video, I started practicing quite a lot. I started reading lots of books about it. I started meditating. And at the end, I basically just realized that it just became so easy for me to astral project. And that just literally after like about 2 or 3 minutes of the actual meditation and relaxation, I was able to leave my body. This particular time, I'm finding this very significant because as I said, I realized the way things actually starting to work in the world apart from this world, in a different world, which is an astral projection world, and it's a world in between this world where we are now and in between the spirit world. The actual area in between is called astral projection area or astral projection world. I remember I started my meditation and the buzzing sound started again, and the buzzing sound also signified the fact that your spirit is still very well attached to your body. Once the buzzing sound stops, it means that your spirit had actually left your body and you just started to astral project, or you started your actual astral projection experience. Now, this time, as soon as the buzzing sound finished and as soon as I realized that my spirit left my body, I've just realized, where am I this time? Yeah, I'm in my bedroom. Yeah, I was in my bedroom. And I've mentioned this before. This is the way the astral projection world is. It all kind of depends on our personal experience. As more relaxed we are, the more relaxed things are going to be around us, and the more relaxed the whole experience is. The more nervous we are, the more nervous and the more scary the whole experience actually can be. And the scariest thing of it all is the fact that there are naughty spirits about. And there are naughty spirits about, or spirits up to no good. There are good spirits, of course, in astral projection world, but unfortunately, there are the naughty ones as well. And these naughty spirits are the ones to watch for, because these naughty spirits, or these negative spirits, these spirits which are up to no good, they feed off your fear. They feed off your nerves, they feed off your fear, and as soon as they feel another spirit around them, like us, for example, as soon as they feel another new spirit around them, kind of investigating the whole situation, they will straight away try to sense what they feel. They will try to sense your fear, and if they feel your fear, they will just have you in no time. By have you, it means they will play with you, they will make you scared, they will go into the maybe very scary shapes, or they will make a really scary sound. But the thing is that the bottom line is they will definitely scare you because they fed off your fear. And what you have to do once you start realizing things about astral projection world, or once you start practicing it, you have to be completely relaxed, and you need to know in your mind, your mind needs to be relaxed. Your state of mind need to be exactly how it should be, completely relaxed, calm, no fear, just curious. It's absolutely fine, but no fear whatsoever. By being completely fine and by keeping your head up and being with no fear, you can just pass next to this like a naughty spirits, or really negative spirits, shall I say, negative souls. You can pass right next to them with your head up, and they will not go near you. They will feel your power, they will feel your presence, they will feel how strong you actually are, and what they're gonna do, they're gonna stay away. I don't really think that they can actually really hurt you. And this is not the point, because they can be so scary, like yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a point. They can be so scary that it can scare you so much that you just would not want to do the same thing ever again. And they like doing that. They like feeding of this fear, and sometimes it helps them to become stronger, unfortunately. And when they wish to manifest in the real world, when they wish to do like a naughty things in the real world, what they normally wouldn't be able to do, with this amount of the energy that they picked up from you, of your fear, they can use it. So they are doing it for a purpose. Mainly they are doing it for the purpose, but sometimes they're just doing it for mischief. It all depends why these spirits are there, who these spirits are, what their purpose is, and how long they have been trapped in the astral projection world. Now, so going back to the moment when I started my astral projection, and I just realized I was at the beginning of my room. It was a large bedroom that I had, and I was right at the beginning of that large bedroom. It was quite a long bedroom, large bedroom, and I remember like a brown door. And as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, everything in astral projection world is a little bit different. So in my case, again, my room was like a slightly longer. The door was like slightly longer. The balcony that I used to have, the balcony was like a completely like the balcony was different. It was much longer. The trees were different. I could see outside. The sky was like a pinkish, beautiful pink or violet color. It was quite beautiful. And there was no bed at this point in that room. There was no bed. And this was for me to learn. Instead of the bed, there was a big kitchen table. So I repeat, that was in reality, in real life, that was my real room. That was my real bedroom, and there was meant to be the actual bed where I slept in that area. But instead of the bed, there was a big kitchen table. And now I was still standing at the beginning of my bedroom, and I was still thinking, why is this big table there? I don't get this. This is quite interesting, because I need to get this and I need to understand this, because normally, or so far, everything would be exactly the same as I say, but just slightly different. But at this point, my bed was missing, but there was the actual big massive kitchen table. And it looked slightly bigger, and it looked slightly taller, and I still didn't understand. I remember standing next to the door and thinking, like being completely confused about the whole thing, like why was the table there? I just remember like it was like a few days ago, or it was that amazing. And I started going slowly towards the table, step by step, step by step. And it was only one bedroom, but it seemed like a slightly longer, seemed like a little bit different. Again, it seemed slightly longer. And then, but as more as I was moving towards the table, or as more as I was going towards the table seemed bigger. That kitchen table seemed bigger. The kitchen table seemed taller. And halfway there, I was thinking like, oh my God, this is just absolutely incredible. It's my cat, Coco. As halfway through, I was thinking like, oh my God, this is absolutely incredible. That how come that this table seems like so much taller? So halfway there, that's exactly what I was thinking. Then I went further towards the table, and then I just realized like, oh my goodness, what's happening? And then something happens, And within a split second of the whole thing, I just ended up climbing on the table. Just climbing on the table, and then I just couldn't understand how big this table was, how huge this actual table was, that I started climbing on the table, and then I ended up on the table, and I was like, what am I doing? What's going on? Why am I on the table? Why am I climbing on the table? It's like I was doing something, but this I kind of wasn't control of. Everything so far I was able to be control of with the power of my mind, with the state of my mind, mentally, and with my spirit. I was able to be in control of absolutely everything with the power of my mind, with my mind. But at this point, something else took control of me, and I couldn't understand what. So I started being I started walking on the table, but like a child, just like a baby, like on my knees, like when the baby just starts walking for the first time. It was just like that. I was crawling like a little baby, and the table seemed like really big. So I suddenly realized that I kind of, like, I had the same mind what I have now, but kind of I was about I was like about 4 or 5 years old, let's say, but I was crawling just like a baby, but I was still small, not a baby as such. I was about 4 or 5 years kind of old, but I was crawling like a little baby, and I was on top of that table, and I was crawling and looking around just like a baby. And what I said before, like at this point, at this moment in time, I did not have a control of it, and I didn't understand why I was walking like a little baby. And I remember, like, on the table, looking left, looking right, like all playful, going on one side of the table to the other side of the table, coming back, and then doing the whole thing again, then walking all around the table, all on my knees like a little baby, and very eager. I was very eager. I was looking around and I was playing. There was a feeling of happiness and feeling of love and feeling of this innocence in me, around me. And I was looking at the things with a different eyes this time. I wanted to know more. And I was soaking things with my eyes. I was soaking things with my eyes. I wanted to learn more. And then suddenly I fell down off the table. And I just carried on. Nothing happened to me, because obviously this is, of course, in the spirit world. And I just remember, just carried on, like walking, just like a little baby, like crawling like a little baby on my knees. And I just started playing with like a little toys. There were like a little toys around me suddenly, and I just took these toys and I started playing with these toys, still throwing the toys in the air, looking at the toys, being mesmerized by the way they were like flying, and by the way they were falling slowly down. I was just playing and playing, and I just had such a great time. But the feeling in me was like so innocent. I felt so innocent. It was absolutely beautiful. It was amazing. I was completely just mesmerized by the whole thing. And I even made a few noises like a little baby, like a few noises like a little baby. So I was just thinking, this is just so weird. I'm acting like a little child, little baby. I'm playing like a little baby. First I was playing a little baby on the table, and then I fell off the table, and then I just carried on beautifully playing, like, you know, with the toys, what a little child would do. And I just couldn't understand why did actually this happen. It was just absolutely amazing. And I was just acting like a little child, like a little baby. I remember walking all around the room, just not walking actually. I keep on saying walking, but what I mean, it's actually crawling like a little baby, as I'm saying, keep on saying, on my knees. I'm keep on walking around the room, and everything seemed big. Everything seemed bigger, you know, like the pictures. I was looking at the pictures on the wall. Now, because I was like a baby, I went back to this baby stage, this child stage. So for once, things are a little bit different in the astral world anyway. But for two, I was a baby now. So I was like, everything was like twice bigger now. and so everything seemed twice bigger anyway. So I remember looking at this beautiful picture of this beautiful rose that I used to have in that house that I used to live. It was this beautiful, massive picture of this rose, and I was just looking at this rose, and I was thinking, oh my God, this rose is absolutely massive. It's beautiful. I could see the picture with the completely different eyes. I could see completely different colors. I could see the colors that this picture normally wouldn't even have, because normally this picture was like just a pure red, like a few different types of a red color. But in the astral projection world, where I was, and where I was like first like being back to a child, and then being back to a child state, and then in astral projection world, at this moment I was able to see this beautiful picture of the rose, like having all these beautiful golden colors, beautiful blue colors, beautiful purple colors. It was absolutely beautiful. It was like all glittery around it, and I remember being just like a little, you know, child, like mesmerized by it, and I was just sitting and just looking at the whole, you know, picture, and I was thinking, oh my God, this is absolutely beautiful. How come I've never noticed these colors before? Of course, in a real life, in a real world, these colors weren't there, but in the astral projection world, you just see things with the different eyes. As I say, it's a different world, completely different world, so everything is a little bit different, or completely different. It was absolutely wonderful. And this is one of my most significant astral experiences that I actually had so far, and I really love it, and I learned so much from it. This was a big lesson for me, because I practiced astral projection before. I had astral projection experiences before, as I mentioned in my previous videos. The first astral projection experience just happened to me. It happened to me. I just believe that people are sometimes the chosen ones for certain reason, for certain things. Like I am an old spirit, I'm an old soul. I lived many lives before, and this is not the first time that I lived this life. In my past lives, I was doing the similar things that I'm doing now, like being a psychic medium and doing things like that. So that's why I just really genuinely believe that I'm just carrying on my journey that I carried on in my previous lives. And so this is my first, that's why this is my explanation why my first astral experience happened to me so strongly, and I just had to carry on doing it. As I said before, I carried on doing it, and I carried on like meditating more and more, and I was doing it. But and few times I did, quite a few times I did it, quite a few times I had absolutely beautiful, amazing experiences, and they were all very similar. But this was the first time that after a while I was doing this, like let's say after like about a year at least, after a while I was doing this was the first time that I actually started, that I've noticed this huge difference. Why did I start acting like a child? Why did I start acting like a baby? I wasn't a baby. I was 15 years old. Why did I crawl like a baby on my knees? Why did I play on the table and then fell off the table and carry on playing with the toys like a baby? Why? This was a big lesson for me to learn, because once you get to know the astral projection world, once you start with the experience of the astral projection, once you start enjoying this beautiful experience, once you start this wonderful, fantastic experience, you basically progress from one point to another. So it gets a while to basically progress from one point to another, and to start walking and acting like a baby in the actual projection world means something very, very big and very, very huge and very significant. In fact, I could say to anybody who is practicing astral projection and who has got this experience that they actually started acting like a little baby or a little child, and they started walking like that, it's an amazing, amazing sign. It's a very significant, because it tells you, it's like literally in black and white, it tells you. And to any skeptic out there, this just makes sense. This just makes so much sense, because it tells you and it explains you that it makes you realize that this is not it. This is not what we see here in this world, this is just a fraction of what is going on in the whole of universe. So this is one world, and this world we start just like a baby. We come to this world like a baby, we become a child, and we become a teenager, then we become an adult, and so on. So in the astral projection world, in the spirit world of the astral projection, in the world, spirit world, the astral projection world, which is the world in between this world and the actual spirit world, that's the new world. The astral projection world is a completely different world, but it's the new world, and there are spirits indeed about. So once you start practicing astral projection, this is very much expected to happen for you to start walking like a little baby. So in this world, you start like a baby, you start like a child, you learn your first steps, and it's exactly the same in astral projection experience. Once you get a grip with it, once you start doing it, once you really get into it, once you allow your mind to focus on things, and when you open up your mind completely for all the energy to go through you, for everything to be shown to you, for everything to happen to you how it should actually happen, this is what is going to happen. You're going to start acting like a little baby, and you're gonna start to work your way up. Just like in this world, it happens in astral projection world. So to me, that was the huge sign, because it meant that I am now ready to go to the completely next step, to the completely different step with astral projection. I've passed my stages. I've passed first few stages that I was meant to pass, and now I can start really to properly learn about the astral projection experience, even from the eyes of the spirits that are already in astral projection, like spirits that have been there for a really long time for whichever reason. I was already able to tap into their energy completely, and I know that I was becoming stronger by starting as a little baby or as a little child. I know that I was becoming completely stronger with this, and I know that I was ready, that I am becoming ready to go to the completely different level, and above all, I knew I was on the right way, I was on the right track, because after this point, after I started living life in astral projection world, after I started seeing things through the child's eyes, it's just something that I have to go through, something that I need to go through in order to learn more about astral projection, in order to go to the next step, because otherwise I would just be stuck in the little room and I wouldn't be moving really much forward. This is really completely my point of view. But like this, by starting from the beginning, just like a child, seeing things from the child point of view, feeling the astral projection world from the child point of view, and then I work my way up, and I'm learning more and more and more, and sometime later I was able to do completely amazing things in an astral projection world that I would never be able to do if things with my astral projection experiences didn't happen the way they happened. And in my next video, I'm going to be telling you more about my astral projection experiences and what started to happen to me after that point, after I started seeing things in astral projection world through the child's eyes. I'm going to let you know, and I'm going to tell you my wonderful experiences in my next video. Thank you very much for watching.